Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to I Allegedly. I've got a good one for you today because I'm going to do something a little different for you. I am in Tustin, California at a place called Enderly Center. And I know a lot about this. I'm going to tell you a little story of what a real estate disaster and how you're about to see a nightmare for so many of these businesses and the community at large. Like, subscribe, let's get into it. This place, Enderly Center, ends with an E. Mr. Enderly passed away. Al Enderly, nice man. I was a tenant of his at one point. He's a nice man overall. And Mr. Enderly passed away almost 10 years ago in 2016, September of 2016. Very sad. And problems with his will. People go back and forth. Oh, no, no, this is the real will. No, this is it. Whatever. Okay. Al was a good businessman. Al liked the ladies. Al had 5 wives that he survived. Five. Five, five, five. So you get a lot to do if you've got just a couple out there. Anyways, Al was married. Al passes away. The center was left to his heirs. What did they do? They decided to sell it. And it's supposed to close escrow next month. Now, here is the thing about this closing escrow is that this is a very successful shopping center. But what do the people that are going to buy it do? They want to convert it into apartments. Okay, now Zoe's Bistro, guys, a fixture, been here forever. And again, guys, middle of the day, look at all the cars. Look at all the cars. Business. You can hear that restaurant. It's packed right now. So what are they going to do? They're going to take this place and turn it into apartments. Now, what does Zoe's do? I spoke to a restaurateur here in Tustin, and she says, wow, well, they can move, they can relocate, and people will follow them. But not everybody can do that. And what happens so many times with this is that we've talked about this. With estate planning, people sit there and they go, what happens if the main guy dies? Nobody ever sits there and does that. No, most people don't. But they also don't put two and two together that if this guy passes away and he's gone, well, they're done. They got to sell the place, which is what happened here. So couldn't handle the taxes, or they just wanted to cash out. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt that everybody just wanted to get rich, richer than they already were. So 17th Street Bar and Grill, again, cars, guys. That means people are eating there. Now, spoke to somebody who has a place here who is near and dear to my heart, and he told me that it is a disaster. They're going to shut this place down, Dan, and we've heard different stories. And the different stories are that they may keep some of the businesses on the fringe, but the majority of everybody's going to go down. But the first thing that they're doing is they're talking about raising rents. And it's going to take people's rents from around $3,000 a month to well over $10,000 a month. And in this declining economy where people have less money, people are spending less. Now, there are dress shops here. There are, seasonal home decor places. You've got the coffee grinder that's here. You've got eclectic restaurants here, different places. But the point is that they can't afford $10,000 a month in rent if they decide to keep the center open. Now, they're going to have to do an environmental impact report. They have to do all the shenanigans here in Orange County to get this place to where they can just shut it down. But with that being said, it looks like this place is done. Now, this is an absolute disaster because do we really need more apartments here in Tustin? Now, for those of you that know the area, you know exactly where I'm standing. I'm standing on 17th Street in Yorba. This is just prized. This guy built this, Al. He originally sold used farm equipment. Real success story, man. This guy bought this land, developed it, turned it into this shopping center, and made a complete success out of himself. Owned the building across the street. Owned a bunch of real estate. So, with that being said, they just cashed out and they're selling it, and it could be done next month. But I want to give you guys an example and show you how this doesn't always work out, guys, when people do this. People, come in and say, oh, if they can afford more rent, they're getting a deal right now. It's not market rates. Well, this isn't the regular economy, guys. You can sit there and be told how great everything, but it's not a good economy. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples right now as to how this can completely destroy a business and a community. Take a look at this example of these two places. Now, first example, I wanted to show you guys how when an owner dies and you leave it to the heirs and your idiot children don't know how to do things, they're going to teach everybody. Well, this is the building in Tustin on Main Street, the corner of C Street and Main Street, where Rudabagors was here for 47 years. You had the business here, you had the men's dress shop here, and you know what they did? Kids come in and dad dies and they raise the rent. Well, Rudabagor said no. They went from 6,000 to 13,000 a month. And they said, well, you're going to pay this. And they said, no, we're not going to pay it. We can't afford that. So Rudabagor's, this eclectic building for this eclectic bohemian style restaurant with, if you've ever eaten at Rudabagor's, there's two other locations right now in Orange and you've got Fullerton, and they're great locations. But this one was the one that I would eat at all the time. And it had great sandwiches and great food. But the owners, told the idiot kids of the restaurant, the owner of the restaurant told the idiot kids who inherited the building that if you raise the rents to these ridiculous prices, we're going to go out of business. They didn't believe it and they called their bluff, and now the whole building's vacant. Now, there was a rumor, which was a complete lie, that a steakhouse is going to move in here. And I spoke to a local restaurateur who's very successful in the city, and she said they don't have a restaurant there. They don't have a kitchen, Dan. They'd have to rebuild it. They'd have to spend between $500,000 and $700,000 in a decent kitchen. $500,000 to $700,000 for a decent kitchen. So once again, this happens all the time. People die, they pass away, the heirs get it, the heirs want their money, and now the building's for lease and for sale and for whatever, but it's going to be empty for a very long time. I want to show you another example of something here in Tustin that had a problem. But let me just show you images from the inside first before we leave this place. Now, for those of you that knew this business, you know how sad this is to see this place like this, completely empty. The booths are gone. It had the outdoor patio out here. It just had this great location that was packed all the time, but can't afford $13,000 a month in rent and shouldn't have to. But we'll show you. They showed these people. Now they have a vacant building. And look at this place, guys. Look at the remodel that's going to have to be done to this place. It's going to take a lot of money to do this. And this is not the industry to be doing this in right now. So real problems, real mess. Let's go look at the other location I was going to tell you about. Now I'm down the street and I'm still in Tustin, California, but this was the location of a restaurant called the Black Marlin. You can see by the construction fencing that it is not open right now. Now this location, here's the thing. This used to be the Tustin garage. When I went to high school in the early 80s, they worked on my car here. This place was an old auto garage that they converted to a restaurant. Originally, it was a barbecue place, and then it moved to something else, and then it eventually moved to the Black Marlin. Only problem was it had a problem with the sewer. And the owner of the restaurant went to the landlord, and they worked out a deal where they were going to pay to have the sewer fixed and make it so that they could have proper restrooms and have it, brought up to code, because like during certain times of day, the place would smell awful. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. So this was a complete disaster. Now, the story has been told so many different ways, and I don't know which version is the truth, but one of these things happened. The owner originally agreed to pay for the sewer construction of $250,000, and then reneged on that. After he reneged on it, he went back to the landlord and said, "You have to pay for this." So, with that, no, we're not going to pay for it. Now, my uncle, who is a retired contractor, who, retired after being in business 50 years, said, "You have no idea if it's only going to cost 250 grand. You open this place up to the sewer, it could be $500,000 by the time you get it fixed." So nobody knew the true number, but this place, down for the count. Very successful, thriving business. Had live music on the weekends, would just pack them in. But with idiocy, with fighting, with getting lawyers involved, now you have a vacant building that you have a business for a year has been closed. So I want to show you guys this. Okay? So done. Black Marlin, goodbye. But once again, it didn't serve anybody anything. They didn't move, they didn't change the location, didn't even think about that. They were going to do the remodel and close for a few months, and it never worked out. Now, I spoke to an, again, very successful restaurateur here in the city, and she told me, if this guy, the owner of the restaurant, would have said, "Listen, fix it, and we'll be closed for 60 days, 90 days, whatever it's going to be, and you just raise our rent $10,000 a month," whatever it would have been, this place could have survived that instead of coming up with the 250 grand. Raise it for 2 years, an extra $10,000. Something. They could have survived and made it work, but no, they just folded up the tent and went home. And now lots of jobs were lost, all the live music. There's no venue here on the weekends with music anymore. That's how that area is going to get destroyed over there at Enderly. Let's go back over there. Now, that's a complete disaster. It is terrible on all accounts. And, from the landlord saying, "We're going to raise your rent and everything's going to be okay," to fighting with your landlord over improvements and trying to bring things up to code and trying to keep your business open. And everybody loses, with the Black Marlin. Now, this location, you had a hair salon that was here forever. It's out of business right now. Got certain places that are open, certain places that are not. My optometrist, before I had LASIK, was here, and she was my doctor forever. But this, guys, controls the second crab cooker. This is the crab cooker in Tustin that has been here forever. Now, remember, for those of you that know Southern California lore and you know the stories, the crab cooker in Newport Beach, California, was there forever, and next door to it was underground parking that was built, and the idiot contractor went down too far, and there was a leak, and there was rumors that the crab cooker could have sunk, and they had to close the place down and shore it up. Thank God the crab cooker had something that most people don't have, was they had business continuation insurance, and you can talk to a business advisor who can explain that to you. But what it did was it paid them as if they were open. Thank God for that, because they kept going. Now, if you own a retail establishment and you could be subject to something like this, that's something you should look at. Because yesterday there was an earthquake in Indio, California. My brother wrote me and said, "This is it. It's a 6. You're going to see this place just fall into the Salton Sea." That didn't happen. But the point is that when this goes down, you know, nobody expects that the people building the condos next door to your restaurant's going to destroy it. They told them that they would be closed for 1 year. It took 2.5 years for them to get that place built and reopened. I love Newport Beach. I like this location, but that place would be gone too. Okay? So once again, you have to sit there and look at this and say, what are you going to do? I mean, there's only so many successful restaurants. That's one of them in Orange County. These are the other ones over there in this same center. So you're going to get rid of it. Now, let me show you one more thing. Now, I want to give you another example of how bad this is. This is the 76 station on the corner of Yorba and 17th Street. Mike owns this. Mike is my mechanic. Mike has worked on my car 25 years, my family's cars, my friends. Hey, who's that honest guy you talk about in Orange County, California? Mike. Now, Mike spoke to him yesterday, and Mike said, Dan, we don't know the status of this. But he told me the story about them raising the rents and in getting rid of all this. Now, here's the thing. For those of you that know anything about gas stations and that Tustin garage with the BS that they had there, think of the toxic materials that you have with a gas station. You just can't level this place and start over again. There was a gas station on the other side of town that was an AM/PM market that sat dormant for about 20 years because the ground was contaminated. What's underneath here? Now, no stress on Mike and no shade on this guy, but I'm saying you just can't rip this down and put an apartment building there. It's just not going to work. So this is so sad, but one shred of hope is that they're going to keep the corners. I'm like, the corners? What does that mean? Well, they would keep us and they would keep the crab cooker at the other end down there, which let me walk out there so you can see it, the other corner. So, Dan, if they did that, then we'd be spared. When does he find out? Next month, maybe. Let's hope it closes escrow, and let's hope we hear the answer to this. But once again, guys, this is going to destroy real estate, and this is a complete disaster. So let's see if we can get Mike on camera real quick and get his opinion on what's going on. Okay, so this is Mike. He owns a 76 station, and he's the one that told me the story yesterday. But Mike, I mean, I've been coming here for over 25 years. How long have you owned this place?
12 years.
12 years, okay? But you're my go-to guy. I mean, gosh, you've worked on all my cars.
Sure.
You know, so,
yeah.
But.
Glad to have you here as a customer.
Oh, thank you, thank you. But you are in complete limbo right now, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So they just don't know what the status is going to be.
Status, they give me notice that I have to leave by March 31st. That's my deadline here.
Is it really March 31st of 2026?
That's what they said.
Oh my
Beginning
God.
of it was like September 24, and then they said, no, you can stay another year or so. Now they give me notice, say, okay, March 31st is the deadline. But apparently their escrow is not closed yet until next month, basically.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't know. Everybody is waiting for them to get the escrow get closed, and then, but majority of the tenants looks like they give them a notice, but not through the landlord, actually through the buyer, actually.
Okay, the buyers.
Which that doesn't make sense to anybody, basically.
Yeah, no, it's too bad. But you know, you've been a fixture in the community. You just can't move a gas station.
No,
you know?
I can't.
So I more power to you, and I'll keep everybody, you know, posted on this. But this is terrible. I mean, you really don't know what's going on. And my sister told me, tell them I'm bringing my car over there. So she's coming over here today to bring her car over. So, guys, I mean, it's that bad. He just doesn't know, and he's got basically, you know, a month and a half right now.
Yeah, plus my investment here, I paid this, like, bought this one for like almost $1 million, like 12 years ago.
Wow.
And then now I have to walk out with nothing.
Oh, that's terrible.
It is.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Well, thanks, Mike. Thank you so much. Okay.
Anytime,
okay.
Sure.
Guys, please, something different. Okay. But that's real ramification. I mean, guys, what are you gonna do? Gonna get rid of that? Gonna get rid of Mike? Come on, this is terrible. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out. But if you've seen, you know, the example of the other real estate, they don't care. God, the guy loses everything. God, that is catastrophic to think about. Please don't forget a couple things. We're doing the free trial on I Allegedly Live right now. Use the link below or go to newvideos.com, and you can see a free video to see if you like the uncensored content. But man, oh man, oh man, this is terrible right now. It's just so sad. But again, this whole center, guys, it's a huge center, and it's going to be lost. And this guy, like you said, he spent, 12 years ago, spent, $1 million in this and gets nothing out of it. How is that remotely fair? So let me know. Let me know what you think. I really want to know. You want to email me, it's iallegedly@gmail.com right now. But let me know what you think about all this, because this is just sad, sad, sad. See you soon.